Welcome to Figure Out Your Life podcast, the podcast where we try to find the answers to life's everyday questions. I'm your host, Toya T, aka Toya T PhD, aka Dr. T if you're nasty, aka me, myself, and I. That's all I got in the end. That's what I found out. And it ain't no need to cry. I took a vow that from now on, I'm gonna be my own best friend. Shout out to those who know the reference of that song. Anyway, let me stop being silly. Welcome back, everybody. We are back another day, another week, another month, another year for me because my birthday was on Sunday. Yay! I turned 37 on July 12th, and it was pretty good. It was a great celebration, one that I cannot complain about despite the Rona and the pandemic and the semi-lockdowns and issues about safety. I had a great, fun, entertaining, Rona-safe birthday. What happened was that I decided last minute because I really did not know what I wanted to do. All I knew is I wanted to look cute. Right as I told y'all last week, I want to look cute. And I want to eat some good food and drink some good drinks and just do whatever makes me happy, whatever sparked joy in me. And so that's what I did. I woke up on my birthday and I took a walk, early morning walk just to clear my mind, figure out what I wanted to do for my birthday, kind of just take in that it's my birthday, that I was 37, 3 years away from 40, which doesn't really mean anything right now because I'm 37 right now. But anyway, I took a walk and it was a beautiful, beautiful 80-something degree day on that Sunday. So when I was taking my walk, I decided that I wanted to go somewhere, but I didn't want to go anywhere because I thought about going to a restaurant. And the thought of having to wear a mask over the makeup beat that I was planning to do, I was planning to look fabulous, just all the makeup that I've spent so much money on, I wanted to wear. So wearing a mask and having to smudge that and have to deal with a mask at a restaurant just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I decided, where can I have a nice little view, like nature-esque view, sit outside, but not have to wear a mask? Ding, 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 my dad's house. So that's what I did. I celebrated my 37th birthday at Daddy's house. That's where I went to, restaurant Daddy's house. And I called my dad up and said, that is the plan. You're going to be home, right? Just say yes, because any other answer was not going to be accepted. He said, yes, I'll be home all day. And from there, my parents got to work, which I did not know that they were going to do as much as they did. I just wanted some food from one of my favorite restaurants, Del Frisco's Grill. And I wanted a cake. And I really was thinking of like a Oreo cake from Stop and Shop because that's where I was on Saturday night. And I was like, oh, that's a nice little cake there. And I was like, oh, I should take a picture of it and tell her I want a cake. Instead, my mom went to one of the best bakeries in Massachusetts, in New England. I'm going to put it out there. Konditormeister. Oh, delicious. If you have not had any bakery goods or cakes from there, you need to go if you're ever in the Boston area. It's in Braintree, Massachusetts. It's so good. It's been there for forever. She ended up getting me a red velvet cake, which is like one of my favorites, with chocolate covered strawberries on top and a fondant banner on top that said happy 37th birthday, LaToya. I say yes. Oh my gosh. And then when we got to my dad's house, he went out and bought balloons. Okay. He went and got balloons. He was real serious. He bought balloons. He bought new champagne glasses because I told him to put the champagne on ice because I want to drink some champagne. It's my birthday. And he did that. And I told him, so I wanted to drink from Eddie T's bar. Eddie T's my dad. And I wanted to dance at Club E.T. Obviously, E.T. is also my dad. Because he has a DJ equipment and he plays music and he got a nice fully stocked bar. So I was like, yeah, I want all the stuff that I would get at a restaurant, but better, without like prying eyes and having to worry about the Rona and masks and having to leave after you eat because they're trying to get people out so that they can clean up and move on to the next. So it ended up being really fun. It was just the three of us, me and my parents, my brother. One of my brothers was working. The other brother lives in Canada, if you don't know. So it was just the three of us. It was fun. It was great. We ate well. Okay. Shout out to Del Frisco's. That graduation menu was on point. We got 2 of their starters. We got steak and cheese egg rolls and a jumbo crab cake. You got their delicious house salad, which has bacon in it. Anything with bacon in it is delicious, with vinaigrette dressing. And then for entrees, we had filet mignon, and my mom had this chicken that was like huge. This chicken, it looked like a chicken thigh that was huge, but all good. So, and then the sides were truffle mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes. I'm just giving them a whole advertisement. They didn't pay for me for it, but it was just so delicious. They made my birthday so great on top of the Konditormeister cake. And then my dad was playing some music, particularly a live stream of this Dominican singer that usually does a live stream performance with her husband, and a lot of people in the Dominican community watch. So we were watching that, and my dad was singing and then showing off some old man moves, as he calls them. Like, this is how an old man would dance, and the young kids know how to do the old man dance. I was laughing so hard my face started to hurt. That's how you know it was a great, fabulous, fantastic birthday. And on top of that, I looked amazing. Check out my Instagram for pictures if you have not seen it. What else is going on in my world? Well, my best friend started a new business. Yes, you've heard from her before. For the longtime listeners, you know Dr. Aisha Court, and you know her from her business, Hey Dr. Court, where she does Spanish language tutoring, and for those who want to become conversationally fluent Spanish speakers within 4 weeks. So she had that. She came on the show to talk about her business a while back, like last year. And then she came on again to talk about social distancing and staying connected to friends. And this time she's not coming on, but I wanted to big up her new business because she asked me to be a part of her testing group. I received 3 candles for the purposes of testing and reviewing it for her. And I got it on Thursday. And all the candles smell so good. My favorite one is Rico, because it smells like a Caribbean man to me. It smells like the cologne counter of an older Caribbean man. If you know any Caribbean men or you're of Caribbean descent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I swear this thing just smells like that just sweet cologne that they like to bathe themselves in, but then it's still not too overpowering. And just the smell just reminds me of my grandpa and my father and my uncles, and it's just, I love it. I just absolutely love it. I've been burning it for the last 24 hours. Absolutely love it. So I definitely suggest that you check it out. They are vegan coconut soy candles. They're hand poured. They're completely inspired by Aisha's heritage and home, by her Cuban background and her Guyanese background. And for those who want to buy Black, it's Afro-Latina owned. Go ahead and support her. The website is The Vela Negra, VELANEGRA.com. And I will put the information in the show notes, of course. The candles officially launch on July 24th, but she is taking pre-orders. I actually pre-ordered one myself. Even though I was getting the free testers, I wanted to support her. So I bought a candle. I think I bought the Rico one for my dad. And I think he'll like it because it smells like how he smells. Anyway, let's move on into this week's episode. So today's episode, as you can tell, is called Figuring Out How to Develop a Better Relationship with Yourself. So where is this coming from? Of course, it's coming from me because it's my show. Let me stop playing around. But I don't know what it is lately. I don't know. I've seen a lot of things, people talking about there's a Corona coaster where you, because of the virus and people having to stay inside and socially distance, that we go through like a roller coaster of emotions, from happy to sad to hungry to angry to energetic to creative to depressed, like all these different feelings. So I don't know if it's that, or it's my bully critic. That's why I call my inner critic, because my inner critic is definitely a bully. And lately, I have not been feeling myself. I mean, I look cute on Sunday, but it took a lot to pump me up to get there. And even with my new cute outfit and my beautiful halo crown, I still was hypercritical of how I looked. I was still saying like, girl, if you had just lost a couple more pounds, you would have been able to look a lot cuter in that outfit. Or if I had just taken the pictures before I sat down and started eating, like it wouldn't look so wrinkled and all this other stuff. So you can hear, like, even when I'm feeling fly, my internal monologue, it's usually like, that's what you get, LaToya. Oh my gosh, why did you do that? That was really stupid, LaToya. Which is funny because I call myself by my full name, when I chastise myself. I mean, I'm judging myself about everything. Lately, I have been judging my behavior. Like, am I acting adult enough? It hit me that I'm 37, but what does that mean? And I go back to the thoughts of when I was younger and I thought 37 was grown, and I see people and I'm like, oh, how old are they? And we're in the same age. I see them as grown and I see myself as not so grown, as young, as still developing. I'm criticizing inability to say no lately. And what comes from that, my need to be likable, which is weird because I'm not a friendly person, but I strive to be likable. I strive to be likable and unapproachable. Does that make sense? None of that makes sense. But it doesn't have to, because we're all complex human beings, right? We're all complicated. We're not just one thing. And the comparisons to my friends is also killing me lately. And not even in a jealous way, right? In a like, gosh, girl, Latoya, you could have done that too. Like, what is stopping you? Like, one of my friends just told me that her and her husband put an offer in to buy their third house. And I was just like, awesome. And I'm happy for them. That's the thing. Like, I'm like happy for them. But in my mind, for me, it's like, girl, like, you are so far behind the bar. Latoya, I mean, yes, you're planning to buy a house next year, but what are you doing to get there? You better get on your courses on how to buy a home, and you need to be doing all the work right now, even though you're not financially prepared to buy a house right now. And a lot of the time, I just feel like I'm playing an unlucky round of that game, Press Your Luck. If you watched the old school version of it, like I did with my granny, I used to call the show the Whammy Show, because, you know, when they pressed the button and it landed on the little devil, they'd say whammy. So I feel like I'm playing an unlucky round of it. Like, every time I go up and make all these gains and try to live my best life as best as I can, and then out of nowhere, one of those damn devils of self-doubt just pop up and wipe out everything that I've built up for myself. And I know I'm not alone. Do you guys ever feel like a failure at life? Because that's something that I say when I've done something that doesn't make sense. I'll be like, you are such a failure at life, Latoya. And I think at times when you're feeling like this, it may be a reflection of how you feel on the inside. You may not be loving yourself the way you need to. You may not be liking yourself. Understanding how to love yourself can help rebuild your confidence and live the best life that you can. And there may be many reasons behind why you don't love yourself or are not loving on yourself as usual, such as repeated mistakes or fails. So how do you develop a better relationship with yourself? RuPaul says, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen? You have to love yourself first before you can do anything. Because if you don't like yourself, you don't love yourself, you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with yourself. It's the same thing with people. If you don't like someone, you try not to be around them. But it's harder to do when it's yourself. If you don't like yourself, you cause yourself a lot of internal problems. So how do we start loving ourselves more? Well, try the following 5 tips for developing a better relationship with yourself. Let's start off with number 1, of course. Repeat the following affirmation. I am careful and gentle in the way I speak to myself. Say that to yourself and then act accordingly. Just like how you'd be gentle and careful the way that you speak to an elder or to a child or to an authority figure. Do the same thing for yourself. I'm going to say it again. I am careful and gentle in the way I speak to myself. Number 2, respect who you are. You must respect yourself in order for you to love yourself. Stop focusing on your negative aspects. Forgive your past mistakes and focus on what you're good at. We're all human and we all have our own flaws and strengths, whether it's seen by others or not. But only focusing on all the things that you did wrong, all the mistakes you made, you're preventing yourself from moving forward. So again, respect who you are. Number 3, use the love languages on yourselves. You know the 5 love languages about how you receive love or how you give love. This is the same thing, but do it on yourself. So here are 5 suggestions using the 5 love languages. So if your love language is words of affirmation, you should say kind things to yourself, like you did well today. You look cute today. You are enough. Actually, you're more than enough. If your love language is gifts, buy yourself a gift, like some chocolate covered strawberries or that new iPhone that everybody has and you always wanted to get. Spoil yourself. If you're like me and your love language is quality time, here's what you should do for yourself. Make time for yourself. If that means journaling, meditating, taking a long walk along the beach, take yourself out. Make time for things that you love. Make time to make yourself feel good. Learn to enjoy your own company. Learn to like yourself. Learn to say, hey, Latoya girl, I think you're awesome. I think you're great. I want to spend some time with you. I want to hang out. I want to Netflix and chill with you, girl. Yes. Can we talk? Can we chat? Can we meet up for drinks in the gazebo? Ooh, I'm already working on it right now. If your love language is acts of service, be as dedicated to making life easy and pleasant for yourself as you would for others. Do that for yourself. Work on your dreams and your goals. If your love language is touch, here's how you use the love language of touch on yourself. Treat your body like D'Angelo's Untitled How Does It Feel song and video. You know what I'm talking about. Listen to the words. Girl, it's only you. Have it your way. And if you want, you can decide. That's right. Say that to yourself. Or if you're a guy, say it to yourself. Hey, bro, have it your way. And if you want, you can decide. And if you're happy, I don't mind. Talk to yourself like D'Angelo was talking to us in the 90s and give the same look that he was giving on that video. Just like, hey, yes. What do you want? I'm here for you. Do that. Listen to your body and give it what it needs. Number 4, fix your flaws. If you think that you have these flaws, the best thing for you to do is to take assessment of what you don't love about yourself and be truthful while assessing your flaws, because that's the only way you can change them. According to Dr. Shalag Mergain, it is often during the most challenging times where there is the greatest opportunity to redefine yourself. This is a good time to think about your flaws and rank them based on how easy or how hard it would be to change them, and then work on the easiest flaw that you can change. Make sure your goals are clear and reachable. Each one should be a SMART goal. We talked about SMART goals before when we talked about the right mindset for a job search. In this case, if you don't remember what SMART is, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. For example, if you see being over your desired weight as a flaw, you would make a SMART goal to say, I want to lose 10 pounds. So that's measurable. You can tell your progress on your goal based off of how many of those 10 pounds you've lost. You say that you want to do it in 3 months. That's time bound. And you're going to do so by adopting a healthy diet and exercising 3 times a week at minimum. That would make it something that is achievable and relevant. And so you would have fit all of these SMART goals, the S, the M, the A, the R, and the T. Number 5, be your own cheerleader. Now, at first, I was going to call this don't be too critical of yourself, but I thought a better way of describing it is to be your own cheerleader. When your inner critic makes you think that you're not good enough, shut that hoe down. Let me stop. Shut them down. Give them several seats. Show them to the stadium of seats and tell them to take one and leave you alone. Tell them the door is closed. Shout out to Nene. The door is closed. Work on yourself and do not be too critical of your progress. Find inspiration in your story. Motivate yourself. Keep yourself focused. Love yourself. Cherish yourself. Make yourself happy. Give yourself some time and wait for the results of your efforts. Give yourself grace. Don't expect immediate changes. You are growing. You are healing. You are working on it. Know that you deserve good things to happen to you. And so be that cheerleader. Cheer yourself on. And that right there is my 5 tips that I suggest you try to start developing a better relationship with yourself, because I don't know about you, but I really need to be better friends with myself. So let's move on to figure this out. And this right here is just going to be a whole series of questions that need answers. So here we go. Why is America great until it gotta be great? Cue the Lizzo music. Dum, 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 dum. Why America great till it gotta be great? Woo! Why are school boards having Zoom calls because it's not safe to meet in person while determining whether or not schools are safe enough for thousands of children to attend? And let's not also forget the faculty and staff that have to be there for them to be in school. Why is it that the president's mouthpiece, aka the press secretary, saying that science should not stop schools from fully opening? Last time I checked, science is still a required subject in school. Are we telling kids that they need to go to school, but don't trust the science class that is required to take and pass to graduate? Why are Fox newscasters saying that folks need to accept that this virus is a part of life and there'll be difficulties on the way? Some people will die, some people will get sick and be changed forever. But we have to get back to a working economy and just deal with it. Well, tell that to the people grieving their loved ones. Tell that to the loved ones of over 120,000 people. Tell me, why is the president so pressed to send other people's children to school when we as the public haven't seen his son in years? When's the last time y'all seen Barron Trump? Do you remember him? Do you remember that there is a minor child living in the White House? Do y'all remember that? When's the last time you seen him? Was he there at Thanksgiving? Was he there at the Easter roll? Was he? Where's he been? And if it's okay for him to go to school, show us him going to school. And then we will send our kids to school. How about that? Why don't people understand that saying children are the least affected by the virus does not stop them from being super spreaders? These people have obviously never been around a large number of children. And I mean children as in from ages 2 or 3 until 21, 22 when they're in college. Every single semester, not every year, every single semester, usually around the holidays, I always came up with some mysterious virus, not a cold, not the flu, some mysterious virus that came together from all their germs that had accumulated on their papers. And I'm sitting here trying to do my job and grade these papers, and I make the mistake of touching my face or not washing my hands or sanitizing my hands before I put a grape in my mouth while I'm grading all their papers and their tests. And then I end up with something that I cannot describe that takes me out and ruins my little vacation days. Why y'all acting like they ain't super spreaders? I mean, that's college kids that are trying to show up to class even though they have like 110 fever, but they're like, no, I can't. I gotta show up today to class. I'm not just talking about them. I'm talking about the little kids that that cough with their mouths wide open, or the ones that will wipe their nose and then go hug their friends. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about those who go and hug their teacher and say, I'm so happy to see you again. Or that one kid that always has that booger running down their face. And now they also have the booger running onto the mask, and the mask is running down because the boogers are pulling down the mask. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to help him or not. And you try to tell him to put the mask back on, but he's already coughing. That is a super spreader right there. You know what I'm talking about. Why are folks calling for schools to reopen, but not for increased education budgets? So you want us to go back to school, but you ain't increasing the budgets, right? All states are going through these financial hardships because of COVID and having to take out their reserves, or if they didn't have reserves, try to figure out how to find money to pay unemployment and to pay for hospitals and pay for PPE. And then they turn around and where do they get the money out of? Out of education budgets. I've already heard from one of the schools I used to work for when I was in graduate school announced that they cut, I think, at least 40% of their adjunct lecturers, which is pretty much a huge chunk of the people that teach stuff. If you know, for any colleges out there, from the Harvards of the world all the way down to your local community college, there are a large number of people who are part-time workers, adjunct workers, visiting lecturers, whatever you want to call it. And to cut 40% of them means that the full-time faculty and the ones that they kept on are going to have larger class sizes. But I don't know how they're going to do that with COVID, although they said they're going to do it online. But can you imagine having to teach online and have to grade double the class size is usually 35, and then they got rid of half the staff, and now you have to teach 70 students and then have to do all of that, but you're teaching like at least 3 or 4 classes because that's a part of your requirement. Think about that. Think about the logistics of that. The reason why they have adjunct workers is, 1, to keep the cost down, 2, to be able to provide more classes for students so that they can make more money, because schools are businesses, no matter if they're public or private. They are businesses. But I have yet to hear them say, well, we're going to increase the budgets. People keep telling you to defund the police, but I don't think you understand what that means, because they're not talking about get rid of the police. They're saying that instead of giving them the money to get the tanks and the latest AR-15s or whatever military grade weapons and shields and protections that they have, how about you take that money and you actually put it into the schools in that same area? How about that? How about you stop saying, well, we're going to cut the education budget. Oh, the teachers can't get a raise again. Oh, we can't afford to do this. We can't send the kids on a field trip. We can't get new computers. We can't get new books because we don't have enough money to do this. We can't fix the gym. We can't fix the pool. We can't fix the roof. We can't actually take the asbestos and lead out of the old building we're in. We can't even build a new building because we don't have the funds, because you keep taking them and putting them in places where I don't think it's helping. So explain that to me. Why won't some people wear masks, but will wear the required shoes and shirt to get service? Y'all seen the signs outside of most businesses? No shirt, no shoes, no service. Well, they're also asking you that if you don't wear a mask, they're not going to serve you. So how is that different? If you put a shirt on, put the mask on and go in the damn store and buy your food. Whew, getting angry here. Okay. Especially since that it has been announced, I think through the CDC, that if every single person wore a mask for the next 4 to 6 weeks, we would actually flatten the curve in the United States of America instead of being the leader in the infection cases in this world. Think about that. But you know what? Some Americans are too caught up on, I don't want to wear a mask. It's against my constitutional rights. Tell me where in the Constitution that it says that you shall not be forced to wear a mask. Why does the Trump administration think that having the numbers of COVID infections and death sent to them directly instead of to the CDC is a good idea? Do they really believe that hiding the rates will make things better, or people will stop dying, or that reporters will stop asking about the numbers? Do you think it'll just go away if we don't have the numbers? Just because you don't count. The president keeps saying it and we know he's not kidding, because he said he wasn't kidding. He said if we didn't test so many people, we wouldn't have so many infection numbers. No, fool. If we tested more people, we'd actually have a lower rate because everyone does not have it. And the more people you test, the lower the percentage rates would get. If you only test people based off if they had contact with someone who's had the virus or if they are showing symptoms, then you're only getting a small sample size. You're only getting those who actually fit the parameters of possibly having the infection. If you tested everybody, you get better numbers. But instead, he said, stop testing so much. It may look better, but it's not better. We're still going to be living with the virus. People are still going to be dying. And then we're going to have to shut down again. So how does that make sense? Last one. Why is Donald Trump still president of the United States of America? That's it. If you can answer any of these questions for me, because they all need answers, go ahead and hit me up on the Facebook group. Hit me up on my email, toyat@figureoutyourlifeblog.com. And with that, I am done, folks. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. All right, if you did, please share it with 3 other people, because 3 is my favorite number. If you have not done so already, subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening to it, and rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening to it. If that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever you listen to this, go ahead. Rate and review this podcast. It will be so helpful. I'd appreciate it. It's still my birthday month. It'd be the greatest present ever. And it'd make me feel so good inside. And that will help me build a better relationship with myself. Let's help each other. Help me, help you, help me. And as always, folks, I want you, wherever you are, whatever time it is, to be blessed. Okay? Stay safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Stay 6 feet away from others. And love yourself. And build a real relationship with yourself so you can live the best life that you can, the best way that you can. All right, I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.